And welcome back to another episode of Next Level Real Talk Podcast with Sheldon and David. How's it going, David?
Doing great over here. It's been great. A little hot here in Phoenix, but we're doing good. We're having a good time. So how you doing?
Good. Not the
How's the
time date stamp this, but this is the week after the 4th of July. So,
Yep. So
busy 4th of July celebration weekend and all that kind of stuff. And
we're off a
always a
couple
lot
weeks.
going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And we're off a couple weeks, because things happen and it was
Yep.
holidays, and so we all had family stuff. I was on vacation, Sheldon on vacation. But real quick, let's talk. I'm gonna quick review of last week. We talked about, the three stages or gates that you got to go through in conversation, which is
Yeah.
true. Is it true? Is it necessary? And is it kind? So hopefully, if you didn't hear that one,
Yeah.
go back and it's really short, about a 20-minute, 25-minute
Yeah.
podcast, and it's really good because it really helps you get through peace for you, but it helps those you're talking to get through peace.
It's one of those that's been out there before, right? So people may have heard of it, but it's a nice reminder, right? And it's simple, and that's what we like, right? These simple ways to hey, can you check what's going on inside yourself, and can you take more responsibility for that, right? And it makes you kinder in the long run, right? Is it simple?
And
Is it true? Is it?
yeah, and at the end, I quickly talked about, because we didn't talk about it in the whole thing. It was like, wow, that would have been good to talk about longer. Is at work.
Yeah,
Is it? I mean, gossip. I mean, is it
yeah,
true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? It may be true, but you really need to be talking about that
yeah.
person at work.
Do we need
Now,
that? Yeah, yeah.
you
And
know,
is this
maybe
kind
you
of thing
talk
to be
to that
saying right
person.
now? Yeah,
Maybe talk to that person.
yeah.
Talk to other people
Yeah.
first. So hey, what's going on?
It
You know,
gets into all these different dynamics because it might be true and you might need to, but in the way that you're sharing it, are you being kind in doing that? Are you being mean and judgmental? You know what I mean? And attacking?
exactly.
Because sometimes you might say, "Well, they need the truth," and so then you just blast it to them in their face in a way that's not necessarily kind,
Yeah,
right? So there's a lot of different dynamics and dimensions of that about how we communicate with people when we need to. Number one, is it true, right? Is it need? Do you really need to? Okay, maybe you do, but can you do it in a way that's kind and compassionate and
yeah,
empathetic and loving and all that kind of stuff versus just, whoa, they need the truth. So I'm going to blast them. And, you're just actually being kind of mean spirited in how you make that communication. So,
yeah. So yeah, go back and listen to that because I thought about it a couple times this week. I'm
yeah,
like, okay,
good.
do I
I
need to
did
talk
too.
about this? Yeah. So it's
I
like
did too.
it's a good reminder. So yeah. So I
Yeah. And
think
so this one might be a short one too. I have a feeling it might be, right. But we were just talking about so much going on and it feels like everything's accelerated. It feels like life is so busy. Feels like there's,
yeah,
this energy of just this frenetic stuff and so much internationally with the economy, with everything, right? It creates all this tension and anxiety in so many people and so much, so in all of us, right? There's this stuff going on, and what can we do to sort of just take a breather from it all, right? And basically
yeah.
slow it down. And we were talking about that, and I don't know if you wanted to share what came up with you personally, right, with regard to that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's and like Sheldon's talking about, it's like just we talked about the pause before,
yeah,
about just stopping and just
power of the
the
pause.
power of the pause. Like, where am I? And enjoying the moment where you are.
Hmm.
Sometimes we get in life and we get going, 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 going. It's like, oh, I forgot that I was doing that
Yeah,
6 hours ago. That was so much fun, and I got
yeah,
going too fast, and I missed the
yeah.
experience. So we get in our brains ourselves. So
Remember
this one
Stevie
kind of,
Morrow talked about that, right? In the
yes.
four quadrants. So there's another one if you haven't listened to
Hmm.
Stephen Morrow from Ireland talked about the four quadrants, and that was the high positive, right? When you're in
Yep.
that positive energy and it's a high state, and you're just going, 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 and it's basically what people will call the flow state, right? Where you lose track of time. But anyway, yeah,
Yep, exactly. And that one, those four quadrants, which I've talked about, I've used
yep,
because like you jump from it, and it's like every time I hear at school an ambulance go by or hear a fire truck or some siren, I take that pause and go, okay,
yeah,
what quadrant am I in?
yeah,
Okay, let's work our way back over here. So it kind of it makes you stop though instead of
yes,
rush, 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 rush. Like, oh wow, it's already time to go home. It's like, no, I didn't take time to go.
yeah,
Enjoy the job for a
yeah,
minute. Okay, where am I at? It may be chaos, it may be crazy, or it may be a great day. If it's a great day, enjoy the greatness. If it's a bad day, go like, okay, this is what it's like.
yeah,
But enjoy the
yeah.
because
So
you're there.
if if
You know.
if you haven't noticed, we have a theme. This
Yes.
podcast has a little bit of theme. It's like, hey, taking moments, slowing
Yep.
down, taking a moment, because sometimes things are so fast paced and our mind is fast, right? And so, things can happen, and then the mind can pop up with a reaction that's so instantaneous, and it feels like the right thing to do, but it may not be, right? It
Yes.
might be, hey, take a moment, slow down for a second.
Mhm. And then
And
experience whatever's going on, experience that moment.
yes, that's beautiful,
Good,
Dave.
bad, or
Exactly.
indifferent. Good,
Yep.
bad, or indifferent. Because sometimes,
Experience it.
as I've talked about in the past, we've talked about my divorce stuff, and it's like there was that, ugh, and it hurt. It was hard
Yep.
to sit there and stop and experience it. But I'm like, no, experience it so you know that feeling. Because
Yep.
it's kind of not that it's cool to feel that bleh, but it's like, oh, that's what that's like. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I know one going down the road, okay, this is coming up. Oh, this is going on.
Yeah.
And two, I got to experience it because now I'm beyond that.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I remember when I felt that when I was here. And
Exactly. And it's two quick things, right? It's when you repress something because you don't want to feel it, it doesn't go
mhm,
away.
mhm. Nope.
So the saying that I used to say is that you have to feel it to heal it, right?
Yeah.
So there's a process of allowing everything to
hmm
flow through you, right? And there's this, when we say, "Oh, I don't want to feel that. I'm so mad right now. I don't want to feel it." And sometimes it's appropriate, like, "Hey, I need to." It's not the right time, but has to be a time where you can turn inside and look at that thing that's coming up and allow it to come through you, and then it'll flow out and release. Um, and then you can
Exactly.
call in and surrender and do some other things, right? But you have to feel it to heal it, and you have to and just remembering if you're listening that when you don't want to feel something and you shut that down, you shut down everything because your body can't shut down just one thing. So if you say I don't want to feel that bad thing, I'm going to shut it down. You end up shutting down the good things too, and you end up being a little numb. And that's what
hmm
most of us in the world, I think, everybody's a little bit numb to all their feelings because they don't want to feel the bad stuff. So then they just shut down, and then you're
Just
just
shut down.
shut
Yeah.
down. So
hmm
just remember that. I mean, going through the process is not easy.
No. So, and as you, when Shell and I were talking beforehand, I didn't even think about the feel to heal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said that, and
Yep.
what my story is comes from that feeling it,
Hmm.
and now I'm healed in a way. If
Yep.
you think about what we were talking
Yep.
about earlier, and I'll talk about the story real quick. And this stems back all the way from way back when the divorce happened. A real quick background, and I know uh, Ashley and Josh probably listen to it now and then. Some of the family listen to it now and then. So it involves, my daughter Ashley, and it's a good story. So don't worry, because I don't want her to feel that this is like, oh no, I'm okay where I am. But this is like the reality of life of what people feel. And at one point, I did tell her, I go when I told her, I said, Ashley, I thought I was going to lose you. She's like, why did you think that? I go, that's just where I am. I don't know. Just my brain is a hot freaking mess right now, and this is where I am. So it's good to be open with it and talk about it.
Yeah.
And some of this is like, why would you think that? In this little story right now, be like, why would you think that? It's like, I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
That's where you go when you're in this
Yeah.
fear, when you're in this world of
Yeah.
of
That's
my
what
divorce.
that's what
You know?
brains do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brains are a mess.
Yeah.
Brains are great because they think really well sometimes,
Yeah.
but they really mess us up
Yeah.
hard.
Yes.
Um, it's your best companion, your worst enemy at the same time.
Yeah.
So so going way back.
I'm sorry. Can I interject?
Yes, no, go
That,
ahead.
that one saying, I can't remember, is it Way of Mastery says, the mind is a tyrannical master, but the loyal servant of an awakened heart.
Wow,
So I think I've said that one. The mind
you
is a
have.
tyrannical master, but the loyal servant of an awakened heart. So when you get to that point where you're connecting to the heart within, you're connecting that to what's above and beyond, and you are connected, then you're following the impulses of love. How can I be more loving, more compassionate? What can I do to support this? How can I serve?
hmm
And when you're doing that and you're asking that kind of connected question, then the mind says, oh, why don't we do this? Can we do that? Blah, blah, blah. And your mind starts to go in places of service. Even in work and the most normal things you can do, it's a matter of service and support and love and compassion, essentially, right? It's not about me. It's not about my ego. It's not about making me look great and all that kind of stuff. It's an act of service. Everything that you do becomes an act of service, right? So the mind is but when you're just in your mind, it's like, what about me? Oh my God, what? Right? And it's in fear because the mind is designed to support just you as this individual body, right? And then it gets in fear. Oh well, if you call them, you can't call me. If you do this, you can't give it to them, you can't get it, right? It becomes this zero sum game. Well, if you were nice to them, you must not be nice to me. So you got to be nice to me first. All these weird dynamics
Uh-huh.
play out in the
Yep.
brain. And that's just the way the brain
Stupid
works.
brain.
So
Yep.
understanding that and just, that's the brain.
Yeah. So going way back, I wish I were okay. A couple of weeks ago, I got a phone call from Ashley, so I'll explain that in a minute. But I wish the way after the conversation, I wish I was that way years ago. But I had to go through that,
Yeah.
what I was feeling, what my brain was doing to get to this moment.
Don't
And
we
it's
all?
so cool. Yes, yes. Oh, yeah, hindsight's 2020.
Don't we all
But
wish?
but understand my brain and my body. Just I'm going through something new. Ashley is adopted. Okay, it's my ex-wife's daughter, and so once Kristen and I got married, I adopted Ashley. So those that know that now, they'll understand the story a little more. But from day one, I was her dad. I mean, we were in 2 months, we were just so connected. I will always be her dad. And she tells me, when I said I thought, she goes, "You're my dad." She goes, "Don't even go there." And so I know that. It's that weird, stupid brain. I'm sorry. But
Such a beautiful relationship you guys have. It's
oh
beautiful.
God, it's so awesome. It's so wonderful. And know that I'm not perfect, and you're gonna hear my little story because I'm not perfect. So like olden, okay, years ago, now and then things would happen, and I'd get phone call maybe here and there, and it's like I'm wanting Ashley to call me more or Ashley to talk to me more. And like it was that. Don't talk to your mom. Talk to me. Not saying it out loud, but it's in my own stupid brain and mind. And I'm like, God, I don't get that same as she gets with her mother. I don't get that, which I'm not going to ever have that same connection. I understand. Okay, I'm beyond that now. But it's like I was like, "Ugh, I want that. I want this. I want that," and I was fighting myself and not realizing what I did have.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I didn't always get that phone call. Yes, I always didn't get this. Yes, she's doing more over here, but she's not really doing more. I just understand my brain. So a couple weeks ago, there was a situation that she had, and she was upset, sad. She was sad. And I was in North Dakota, and she had called me. And so I kind of took the call. I walked out front and sat in the front yard, and which you can do in North Dakota. You can't do that in Phoenix, by the way, this time of year. So I'm sitting out
You want
there.
to get baked?
Yeah, exactly. So Ashley called, and she was sad, and she was kind of in tears, about just a situation that had happened to a kind of a friend. I don't want to say a friend, but someone that she knew had passed away, and so she was sad about the situation. So we talked through it, and she just wanted to talk. She didn't need answers. She didn't need, she just needed to talk to Dad. That's all it was. Cry right there. And so we're talking. I'm like, I feel, I'm feeling great about talking to her through it, and kind of, she felt a little better, but it's going to be hurt. It's going to hurt for a while because that person had passed. But I felt good that we got through, and so we hung up. And I said, "Hey, you need to talk? You call me. Don't worry about it." Mm-hmm. And so I got off the phone, and within a split second, this all went through. So this is going to be a couple-minute conversation. I'll just bring you through it all. So in that first moment, it's like, wow, she called me. She called me. I was like, wow. She didn't call Mom. She called me. So there was that
Comparison.
comparison. Like, I got the phone call. She didn't. I go, wait a minute. And it wasn't a mean thing. It's like, wow, she called me. I was like, wait a minute. I don't care if she called Kristen or not. She could call both. Why can't she call both of us? We're both her parents.
Yeah.
And I was like, if she called Kristen first, that's okay. If she didn't call me first, but she called me. So I had to stop in that one moment. I was sitting out there. I go, it's okay if I'm called second or third or fourth. Did I get a phone call? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And she was sad enough to talk to me and have me help her through it.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a two wins at one time. I was like, wow, just excited that she called.
Yeah.
No, not that she doesn't. People don't understand. I'm not saying that. Ashley, understand. I'm not saying that. If you listen to this, understand what I'm saying here.
She calls you all the time.
She does all the time. Just know that, people. Okay. It was just like in this moment, it's like, wow, she called me in this hard time moment.
Yeah. She
You know,
thought
that was
to call
cool
me.
that she called me.
Yeah.
It's
beautiful.
And then the thought of my brain, seeing that I've felt it and now I've healed through it, that it wasn't a competition that she called. Oh, good. She didn't call Christian. She called me. No, I didn't. That's not where my brain went.
Yeah.
It started to think that. My brain goes, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Why can't she talk to both of us? I talked to both of my parents.
Yeah.
But I'm on the other side of it now, being the one that's divorced with the kid.
Hmm.
I mean, wow, what happened? I'd love to go back into my life and see what happened when I was the kid, what they were going through as my
Yeah.
parents. You
That's an
know?
example to me of in Buddhism they have this expression compassion arising naturally. In
Uh
other
huh.
words, you might have been ha 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 ha, she called me first, and been in that ego mind of,
Hmm.
I won, ha ha ha, Christian, you suck, I won, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And you might have been in that. And then from your mind said, oh, I'm not supposed to think like that. So I'm going to repress that down. And I'm just going to hold that a secret, even though I really feel that.
Hmm.
But I'm going to pretend like, oh, it's okay. I'm glad you called. You can call anybody, right? But that didn't happen. What you are describing is something that just happened naturally within your own beingness
Hmm.
of, wow, who cares? I'm glad you called me, but she could have
Yeah.
called her mom too. And you can
Yeah.
feel it in the way you're describing it and that's a sign that thing, part of that is healed. Part of that
Hmm.
dynamic is so healed that, you have compassion and for everybody, and you want your daughter to be able to call her mom when she needs to.
Yeah.
Of course. Why would I, as somebody that loves you,
God.
not want that? Of course, I want you to do
Yes.
that, right? And I'm not going to be jealous of Kristen, and
Mm-mm.
in her life and her relationship with her own daughter. Of course, I want her to be able to do that, right? And
Yes.
that's this loving compassion that arises naturally. It's not like, oh, it's the
Hmm.
right thing to do, and I'm gonna,
And
do it.
and no, what Sheldon was saying, that what you were saying originally, that I suppressed it.
Yeah,
I was there, people. Okay, so don't be like, well, so he's been loving all this time. No, I had that exactly what he
yeah,
said. It's
yeah,
like, I won.
yeah,
Screw you.
yeah.
I won this one. It's
We
like,
all have that, right?
and
That's
it's like,
that's the mind.
and it hurts me that I had that, you know, but I was there. I have to
Yeah,
accept it.
100%.
But that was that anger I had within me, and that I don't know if it's anger or just upsetness or sadness or whatever it was. It was there, so I
Yeah,
accepted it. And by the grace of God, and thank you for helping me through it,
yep,
Sheldon, is that feeling it and going through that. I mean,
yep,
it hurt, people.
yep.
I'm not telling you it was easy to get through it, because it was hard. Because I'm sorry, in some divorces, you just don't like the other person, and that's the way life is. And it sucks, because now Chris and I talk at family functions. We hang out, we talk. I talk to her new husband. It's okay,
Yeah.
which we know if you've listened to our podcast, it wasn't okay. Um, yeah, with me, okay, it
Yeah.
wasn't okay with me. Um, but going through all of that, of what you were saying about being that suppressing it, letting it go eventually, is now I can be to where that I'm like, wow, I had that great conversation, and not have to go like, oh, was I first? Oh, was
Yeah.
I second?
Yeah.
Instead of putting it back on me and trying to figure out what's the problem, who won this one. No, I got to talk to my daughter in a moment where she needed to talk.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one time I was sitting there even thinking that process.
Yeah.
It was afterwards. I was like, wow. And my brain didn't go and go like, oh, she called me first. I won.
Yeah.
No, it was wow, she called me. I'm glad she called me.
Yeah.
She could have called Kristen. I don't
Yeah.
know. I hope
Yeah.
she did. I honestly hope she did. Because I'm sure Kristen probably had some better things to say than I say.
Give
'Cause
her
I'm a
perspective.
guy, she's a girl.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's okay, because we both raised her. We both have a relationship with her, and it's okay with that. And so no, I'm just, the reason I want to tell that story is because know that I was not a good person with all that before. I
Yeah.
was not. I was that angry, mad, upset, sad person that kind of fought it, but I had to go through it to get over it. It's like, it's okay if she talks to her mom.
Yeah.
That damn competition we have in our lives, in everybody's life, you have a competition, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And um, it's
And
okay for us both to have a conversation with her. And there's things she's going to call her mom before she calls me, or not even call me.
yep.
But my mind, that screwed up thing, the bad part of it, was going like, "Ugh, why is she calling me? Because it's not the right time. It wasn't the conversation she could have with me.
Yep.
And now her and I have so many more conversations about different things. And that was just one that it was a time to say, look what's happening.
And
Because I didn't notice it as much. I mean, that was just like a wow. Okay, I have had these conversations with her, not realizing that, hey, I'm beyond what that was a long time ago, but I hadn't paused to see it. That gave me that one time to pause and see it.
yeah, so that's what we were talking about is
That
as
gap.
slowing down,
Yes.
right? Taking the time to slow down and notice what's going on within you, what's going on within your mind, and to have gratitude for the beautiful things that are happening, right? So slowing down and noticing, and you had and that just happened really. And I think the nice thing about the story, Dave, is that it just happened all very naturally and organically for you. Again,
Totally.
it's not something that
Yes.
was forced, and you had to go through a process of healing to get to that place where it's natural. But that's the fruit of that, right?
Yeah.
Is that when you do that, and is that those things happen, and as a message, hey, sometimes you might need to do it more consciously. Like, hey, let
Yes.
me slow down here. Let me take a breath here. Let me sit with this for a moment. Those things might need to happen, but that's also part of the healing process. And how do you get connected is to take a moment to slow down and to notice what's going on inside you, right? Like it's about what's happening within you. You can't control the world, but we can control how we respond to that world, right? And so we can say, hey, we can notice what's happening, right? And so and even in the good spaces, you can do that, right? And that's what happened, right? And it happened all purely organically for you.
Yes. And yeah, and that one moment and that day that she called me, it was organic because everything else I went through. It wasn't like okay, what are we doing here? It was just I just got the conversation. Well, it was on speaker. I looked at Jordan, who I was talking to, my friend's daughter. She's like, because it was like, this isn't good. That's
Yeah.
what I went up front, and then and I just naturally like, okay, she's having a hard time. Just talk it through. It wasn't like there was no other thing there, but just a conversation with my daughter. It was so
Yeah.
cool.
Beautiful. So
And
beautiful.
nowhere through it, nowhere in it was I going like, okay, there was no other nothing else. Sometimes the brain was trying to figure things out, but it was a great conversation. And afterwards, there was no, so that in that split second, it wasn't who did she call first? It was just my brain went, wow, that was a good conversation. We got to talk. I'm glad you called me, and not in the selfish glad you called me, in a glad you called me, like, the brain started to go there and go, I hope she did call Kristen. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, if
And
you gained one thing out of this, hopefully a lot out of this, but if there's one thing, if you have ever had that feeling, or you haven't been there, but you get there and you're at a point where you're in the conversation, like, do I get it first? I don't want. I hope you don't call her. I hope you don't do this, or I hope you don't call my friend first, or your friend first. Call me first. If you're ever in that, just
comparison mindset or whatever.
put your headphones on and go. Your imagine headphones on, like, oh my God, that's Smithers talking to me, saying, stop. It's okay if they talk to other people too.
Yep.
I'm not the only person in this world.
Yep.
And that'll help you quickly get through it and understand, instead of arguing it back, like, okay, they are talking to both of us. Or maybe they did call that friend instead of call you friend, okay, at that moment in that situation, because maybe that friend had something for them. And another time, that friend's going to call you before the other friend. So it's okay.
Yeah.
It may not be easy. That's when you have to process through it. But just know that, like for me, I'm in such a better place. I really am from where it was, and know that there was no anger, animosity at each other. Okay, it was just me and my brain being angry back then, and so it's a good thing to have that small, kind of a gap, stop and just. I was outside, so I got like, wow, I said a little prayer for Ashley, and that kind of let me meditate, but just slowing down was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and being able to process it. So if you're ever in a situation where it's that, and you're in life and you're in that anger stage, you just got to accept it, process through it, because down the road, organically, you're going to be going like, wow, this is such peace, and it wasn't a bizarre phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, it was so much fun to be able to talk to her about that, and I hate keep talking about that conversation, but I mean, the poor kid was sad, but we talked through it, and
But it's
tough.
fulfilling as a father
Yeah,
to know that your child thinks enough about your relationship to reach out to you in the hard times.
yes,
A beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing.
Oh,
It's
totally.
It's a simple but a beautiful thing, right? And that's also one of those things that, so I think sometimes, especially people, on a spiritual path or whatever, or I'm here to save or be in service, which is a beautiful energy, right? But I always like, even with me, like, how many views did we get? Did we help a lot of people? It's just like, right? You've always said, right? Hey, if we help
Get
one
one
person,
person. We did our
that's all
job.
that matters, right?
Yeah.
If you touch one person, that's all that matters, right? clearly, with Ashley, you touched her in that moment. What a beautiful thing, right? And
Yeah.
and taking that moment to just notice that. So again, the slowing down and noticing, right? And we've had that theme, the power of the pause and all those kinds
Hmm.
of things. And it's something that's really fundamental and needed in this time because there's so much. The pace of our lives
Oh yeah.
is
Hmm.
so crazy in the world these days, and there's so much going on that it's hard to slow down and notice. So I think that,
Yeah.
I think
And then
that's
and then right after that, if you're in a situation like for me, right after it, instead of rushing right back into the house and continuing conversation, it's like I just sat there for a minute and just absorbed what happened.
yeah,
It's like,
beautiful.
wow. And thought about, said a little prayer for Ashley,
Yep.
and for the situation, just like, a
Yep.
little prayer, and then allowed me to stay calm and go like,
Yeah.
wow, I got to have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
I hope. And then that little thing, and wow, it was just a reflection of like, wow, I used to be angry because I wouldn't get that phone call, or I may not have gotten it first, but I'm okay with this now.
Yeah.
So
It's beautiful, dude.
it was a cool pause that I got to realize for myself that I made it to that point.
Yeah.
So
Have,
you can do
yeah.
it, people. It's sometimes it's a long road. I'm there, but it gets you to peace if you just kind of slowly. It
Yeah.
may not be peace that day, but it took me a while. But it was a beautiful moment. So
Yeah. It's a beautiful story, dude.
indirectly, thank you, Ashley,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this. So,
Yeah.
but know that out there that slow down in any situation. No matter what situation you're in, you're with family, you're with friends, you're at work, and just see where you are. Just one, appreciate where you are,
Yeah.
and two, how to get through it. Just pause.
Yeah.
And like you said, slow down and notice what's going on.
Yeah.
So
That'll be the theme for this one. And I think that's a wrap.
yeah, and make sure you
Short and
share with
sweet.
friends. Share this
Yeah.
with friends because and by the way, that'd be your way to reach out to friends. Share with your friends, share with your family. It's a short and sweet one, but
Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that
yes,
good stuff. It does help
please,
us.
please.
So we would appreciate it. And love you guys for listening and appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Have a great week and keep that smile on.